Hey everyone, I just wanted to take a couple minutes out of your day to talk to you guys. I haven't done a journal or like a letter in a while, and I figured what better time than now to do one. And this isn't anything like strictly formal, like the last one I did. It's just kind of a exertion of thoughts that I've had in my mind for the past couple weeks. Um, So, I turn 21 tomorrow, and as that arrives, I've been thinking a lot about stuff that's been on my mind that I haven't written down yet or talked about. Everything right now is confusing and not, and it's all happening inside my mind. So, doing this right now is just kind of a remedy for that. So 2020 is definitely a unique, special year to turn 21 in for many countless obvious reasons. But regardless of that, there's still some pretty good reasons to be excited and encouraged to turn 21 this year. I've been spending the past 7 days and more than that really analyzing and reflecting on events, people, and experiences that have gotten me to where I am today and how God has fit all those puzzle pieces into his grand plan for me. I kind of see it as if the pieces had individual pictures on them, there would be a lot of them, at least half of them, that could make me smile and laugh at any moment, and instances that can teleport me back to experiences that I hold dear, like watching President Obama be inaugurated in Mrs. Beam's fourth grade class in a portable at Tangle Elementary, or walking home from the bus stop in middle school with my neighbor Jade and her little sister coming to see my dog Oreo for the first time. And then there are moments like seeing my mom at football games in high school to watch me perform during halftime. There are moments like that that are really special to me because I know by having taken care of her that it's really hard for her to go places and stay there for an extended period of time. And she really does fight through every pain in her leg and her back and her body just to be present. And so moments like those I will never want to forget because they really show me the definition of love and acceptance and care. But like all puzzles, at least for me, some don't fit right when you first look at them. You look at the picture and it's hard to determine where it goes and if it belongs, but they still do. There are a bunch of times that I would never want to live again, and sometimes even wish that I could just erase, but I can't. Not because I don't have the means to time travel and actually erase those things, but because I don't actually want to. Like the first time I got a speeding ticket in 2017, I was doing 95 on a 70 mile per hour highway, reckless as frick, in a brand new Lexus. My dad had to fly down from DC to take me to court because my mom couldn't. And I remember from being pulled over all the way to going to court, my heart rate just being dangerously high that entire time because I was afraid of the consequences being like life altering, which you could argue if they were or not. I mean, I've definitely had 2 more speeding tickets between then and now, so you could argue. Another bad puzzle piece that I have a hard time looking at is when I moved out of my childhood home in Clarksville in 2018. I didn't know what to do about anything with that at first. I mean, I didn't know where my mom would go. I didn't know where I would go. I didn't know how we are going to move out this giant 2-story house in a matter of a week. And of course, God led us to a solution created in his favor, which is utterly amazing, and I couldn't ask for anything more. But I would be lying if I said that everything did not go without doubt and uncertainty. I was in the car with my brother a couple months ago, and we would talk about traumatic times like that. And I told him that I still felt like I haven't processed that entire thing fully. But since it's now currently been 6 months since I've seen my mom, all of those feelings have been just kind of weighing down more. Have been feeling heavier. My longing for my mom's presence has been feeling heavier. My stress to succeed has been feeling heavier. My doubt about my fruitful and fulfilling future has been heavier. And of course, me, myself, weight-wise, has been feeling heavier. As I turn 21, I start to realize there's still a lot of things about myself that I am left to explore and conquer. So I went to my first doctor's appointment in years for the first time last week, where I've had like actual labs done and a physical done. By the way, I thought when I had my blood drawn that I would be okay, and I was, but I knew that if I had looked at my blood actually being drawn, I would be knocked out in a millisecond. Like I needed resuscitation on the spot. So that's definitely a no, mondo major. But anyways, it was determined that I have moderate major depression. And of course, during something as traumatic as a pandemic, your mind's probability of becoming yonderly definitely increases. But as I sat in the exam room, listening to her explain to me stuff about my body that I never knew, and coming to terms with her conclusions, I felt a swift kind of drowning feeling of moments before the pandemic, moments where everything consistently felt pendulous, or moments of highs where everything felt purposeful and enticing, and then went straight down to lows where the majority of an extended period of time, whether it be a week or a couple of weeks, I felt anhedonia. There are a couple of examples off the top of my head that I know that I've felt that way, like in 2018 losing my childhood home, or 2018 to 2019 losing my ex-partner due to my infidelity, or spring 2019 failing to find a community at the college after 2 years. But then in fall of 2019 having doubts about my new school and breaking into the mold of a society that has been solidified for 2 years already. And then also on top of that, accepting the harder challenges of my schoolwork and turning it into a passion that I would want to continue as a career. Then now in 2020, obviously adjusting to the confines of isolation, finding inspiration to pursue new crafts and creative endeavors in an effort to really establish a better public identity. But then also, like right now, continuing to put school as a top priority and finding passion in the courses I'm taking and striving to see an essence of myself in the work that I put in and the work that I turn in. And so, you could say for a lot, or basically a majority of my collegiate career, that I haven't found my home yet. At Belmont, I never found true comfort, and after losing the one trusting foundational piece of comfort and purpose in my ex-partner by fault of my own, I could no longer pursue comfort in a place that wasn't my home. It's like when you get off of work and you have to take the metro home, but you miss the train, and the next train doesn't come for another like 3 hours, and so you have to stay at work. Staying at work, at least for me, doesn't automatically mean that you're going to make yourself comfortable. It doesn't necessarily mean that you turn your desk into your bedroom. There's a factor of uncomfortability, especially if you've been exerting energy since morning, and you feel that way because you know that's not where you belong at that point in time. And that's kind of a short example of how I felt. And to combat those lows that these thoughts and moments give me, I've started taking medication for the first time. And to be quite honest, I'm definitely kind of scared because I've never taken prescribed medication beyond pain reliever for stuff like wisdom tooth extractions. And so far, after 3 days of half a dose, I've been feeling like not numb, not instantly more happy, but kind of neutral. I know that these pills are only to protect my mind from the lows, but I don't really always want to block those emotions from coming through, since I already kind of have a hard time processing emotions fully like how I want to. Nonetheless, I'm slowly starting to learn to not be ashamed of taking them. I know that there are a lot more people with a lot more problems going through much worse. And I only ever want to be somebody that people can turn to and have peaceful, loving, fun vibes with, and that can confide in me whenever they want to. But going to the doctor this past week just put a lot of things in perspective for me that like I have to do for myself, and that I really have to acknowledge and take care of head on going into my 21st year of existence. And so on that note, there's still a lot to be accomplished, and I'm literally just getting started curating questions for myself that I will want to be answered eventually. And I know that it's going to take some time, like years and decades, but I just don't want to be stuck in a state of anhedonia. I know that by including God in my plan of attack to handle these struggles, He will give me more strength than any practical thing on this earth could, and that He will teach me to embrace and love things with more worth than any practical success on this planet. So all in all, I'm still excited to turn 21. I mean, there's so many new opportunities that I will get to experience that I haven't been able to before in my first phase of my young adult life. So for that, I'm really excited to see the next step forward for me and what lies ahead in the next couple of years. But I wanted to take a moment to really just thank everyone that's contributed to my life in some sort of way, whether that's just something as simple as a smile. I genuinely, from the bottom of my heart, want to thank you, because I could not be where I am today without the people that have passed through my life. And so for that, I just want to thank you. And so I love you all. I hope you're all staying safe out there. Continue to take time for yourself, because it's important, and wear a mask, vote, and 2020 is still a hoe. Peace.
Try